Lisa Turner from Psy-TV and welcome to Psy-TV TV. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about protection and asking the question, do we actually need it? Or is that yet another myth? And I'm going to be giving you 4 things that you can do that are even more powerful and empowering. So, if you've been on any kind of psychic or spiritual development course, at some point you've probably, or read any books, at some point you've probably heard this idea that you need to protect yourself. You need to surround yourself in white light and call on your guardian angel and put a bubble of, I don't know, of iron or steel or white light or whatever it is around you to protect yourself from negative energy. Right, you've probably heard that, right? So here's the question. I've studied a lot of spiritual philosophy and really got into the depths of it. Now, in pretty much every single spiritual philosophy is this idea that everything is mental. This comes from the Kabbalion. Everything is mental, everything is thought, and that we are the creators of our universe. We are the creators of our experience. Also in the Kabbalion, one of the universal laws is the law of cause and effect. And the idea is that we create the cause of all of our experience. We're the cause of all of our experience. So, why would we choose to cause or create something that seemed evil that we needed to protect ourselves from? Why would we do that? Well, probably because we've been told that that's what we should do. So the first thing is, if we're the creators of our universe, then anything we perceive as being able to attack us is actually coming from us, from within, created by our own beliefs. Now, the other thought I had is like, what's negative anyway? What is a negative energy, a negative entity? Could it be that this is just a judgment and actually there is no negative or positive, good or bad? There's just energy, and it's how we respond to it that it's important, not the label we put on it. Then there's this idea of unity. Most spiritual philosophies have the idea that the purpose is, the goal, if you like, not that there is really a goal, there's just a journey, but if there was a goal, the journey would be towards unity, oneness, to becoming more consciously at one with everything and with source. So we're saying we need to be at one with everything except the negative bad stuff that we've labeled negative and bad. So if we lose the negative label and we decide actually it's just us anyway, and it's just our interpretation of what's happening that has us label it as negative or bad. So isn't the goal unity? Maybe we should be looking at that. Then there's this idea of, well, if we presuppose, what's presupposed in the idea that you need protection? So if I'm going to think, well, I need protection, what does that mean about me? That means I'm weak, I'm fragile, I'm vulnerable. Oh, don't hurt me, nasty negative entity, because I'm only little and can't possibly defend myself. Now, again, when we look at most spiritual philosophies, the idea is that truly they're all about personal empowerment. So if we give people the idea that they need to be protected, then aren't we saying you're not very powerful, you're not really very strong, you're actually very weak, and you need protection from something else outside of you because obviously you're not very strong. So again, I think this is a fundamentally disempowering idea. Then this idea of fear. Doesn't the idea of just, there is something to fear, isn't that the ultimate in disempowerment? To say, oh, you need to be afraid of this thing. So now you may not, whether or not you like my take on this or not, here are some thoughts on, and maybe you're thinking, wow, that really makes sense. I know I did when I first kind of started really digging down and asking these questions. So what can you do instead? So how can you handle things when you have an experience that seems to be like not that great? How do you handle that? What do you do instead of just deciding you need protection? So the first is that you can just practice non-judgment and just say, okay, well, whatever's going on here, let's just make this statement, and you say, how interesting. Rather than saying that's bad, that's good, just say, how interesting. Maybe in the longer term, whatever's going on is actually perfect for you. So just practice non-judgment. Also, allow yourself to bring whatever you're experiencing into your awareness. When you bring it into your awareness, you can actually get much more of an understanding of how it is you created it. That probably there's some belief that you've got that's running in your unconscious mind that isn't that empowering. And then what you can do is you can release that belief. Now, here in Psy-TV, we have a fantastic process called higher self therapy that does that. Also, you can remember you are source. A lot of spiritual teachings kind of, like we have this idea that we're source or that we're trying to reconnect to source. I actually think we're never disconnected to source. You are always not only connected to source, you are source energy having a physical experience through your physical body. So you are source. And if you're source, you're infinitely powerful. So what could you possibly need to protect yourself from? And finally, just learn to release the fear. Again, we have a fantastic technique, higher self therapy, which enables you to just release and delete that fear from your neurology. Now, that doesn't mean you won't ever feel fear again, but the fear you do feel will be appropriate so that you can respond to a particular situation in a way that's empowering. So, what did you think of these ideas? Join in the conversation, post below, join our Facebook page, have a chat with us about it. Bye for now.